Alright, I'm going to start by creating 4.1e number 2. This is the part we're going to make there. It's this method here. This is on Project Lead the Way's 4.1e assignment. And this is the part we're going to be drawing. Let me get that one back out of the way. I'm going to need to start a sketch. I'm going to choose my XY plane. I am now going to choose the dimensions for the face on this side using a rectangle, and I'm going to be 60 by 40. So I typed in my first dimension 60, I hit tab to go to my second. Now I'm hitting enter, zooming out so it fits in my screen. I'm hitting the letter E to extrude, and we are extruding this 30. We are 30 inches deep this time. And then hitting OK. There's my overall block. Notice we're pretty good start here. Now I need to cut out a big chunk right in here. So I'm going to start a sketch. I'm going to do this from the front. You could also do this from the top and cut it down. So I'm going to make a generic rectangle anywhere right in here. Now I'm going to dimension that rectangle so it's the appropriate size. I do that by clicking on dimension. I'm going to do my top down. I click the two pieces I want to measure between. And this dimension is 15. Enter. I now have to say how far away this side is from this side. Oh, didn't get that second one. There we go. I move my piece up. I can also move it down, but up seems to be a more appropriate place to put it. This one is 10 away from this edge. I need to make sure this side is 25. And you'll notice when I hit enter, it makes it the appropriate size that I wanted. And I'm now going to finish this sketch. 3D model, I'm going to extrude. I want to extrude this not just 30, but all the way through. And I want it to be a cut, so I choose this piece here. And I have to now click on the element I want to cut out. It's showing me a preview, and now I hit OK or enter to make sure this is what I want. By pushing down on scroll and pushing down on shift and pushing down on the scroll wheel like it's a button, I'm able to orbit around to make sure it cut all the way through. The reason I tell it to cut all the way through instead of just typing in the number is because every so often you'll end up with just a little thin sheet back here. That just depends on how you click and how accurate you are with your clicking. So most of the way there, I now need this small hole in the side of my piece. So I need to start a sketch on this side. Again, I'm just going to do a generic rectangle anywhere in here. Now I'm going to dimension that rectangle so I'm sure I know where it is. I can either hit escape so that it knows I'm done making rectangles, or I can just straight click on dimension. I'm going to first dimension how big this piece is. It is 10 tall. I'm going to click on the two things I want to measure between, these and this, to tell me how wide it is. And I am 15 wide. I now need to say how far this edge is from this edge. I'm going to move that up. And that's only 3. I also need to say how far it is on its y-axis, how far up and down. And this one is kind of hard to see on our picture, but this is only 5. Alright, looks good. Looks good. And our plans right here doesn't tell you how deep, so we're going to assume that that must go all the way in. Okay, since it doesn't tell us how deep, we're going to cut that all the way through our part. So I'm going to now hit the letter E. There we go. And I'm not just going 30. I'm going to go all the way through. I'm going to make sure it's a cut. It's the center option. I'm going to click on the piece I want to cut. It'll show you that it's doing that. And then hit OK. If I use the shift button and the scroll wheel, I can go over and boop, look at that. You can see right through. If I don't like how my view is, click on the house and it'll take you home. And if I zoom out a little bit, Move it up all the way. Let's bring in our drawing. Right here. You can kind of get them both on the same shot. Right there. And you can see that they both are right there. Look almost identical. On here, the dimensions are in millimeters. I didn't change any of my dimensions to millimeters. One of the ways you can go through and edit dimensions if you made a mistake later is to right click on the extrusion, whichever extrusion is the issue. This one is the overall shape, and edit sketch. I can now double click on these dimensions and I can change all of them to millimeters. All I have to do for that is type in millimeter, and that's all you'd have to do for that. But regardless of what unit you're in, the shape should still look the exact same. Mine would just be scaled up a little bit compared to the millimeters. Thank you for watching, and hope you learned something.